And help our listeners understand the dynamics there about pricing and location and distance from the market.
Right.
What made this particular asset desirable? Sounds like you were looking for a place that you could do some Bitcoin mining.
They had built a lot of infrastructure, a lot of systems that we were able to pick up as part of the acquisition.
Let's go back then to your property and the dynamics of it and what makes it good for Bitcoin mining. You're doing gas, not oil?
Not oil. So we have a little bit of oil production that comes along. You never are,
Okay.
or rarely are you purely one or the other. There's always a little bit of mixture.
Okay. But I'm assuming they're old oil wells
yeah.
that just have a lot of the gas still around?
They were
or
drilled
how
as
does that
gas
work?
wells in 08.
Okay.
I mean, 06 to 08. We drilled, or the predecessor drilled some of the first horizontal wells in the Permian, are the wells that we operate.
Wow.
Which isn't, and they were drilled for gas in 06 to 08 was a very high gas market.
Okay.
And fringe of the fringe, we're up where the Wolfcamp's very shallow.
Yeah.
And, it would have worked at $8 gas that they were seeing back then.
Yeah.
It doesn't work at $2 gas.
Okay.
So as a development, it kind of ran its course through 08, but they had built a lot of infrastructure, a lot of systems that we were able to pick up as part of the acquisition.
And help our listeners understand the dynamics there about pricing and location and distance from the market.
Right.
What made this particular asset desirable? Sounds like you were looking for a place that you could do some Bitcoin mining. What was it about the specs about this particular property that drew you?
So Bitcoin mining has two big cost inputs. The capital cost of the equipment, which we'll talk about how that swings around, and the cost of your power. So, and those are the two big economic drivers in Bitcoin mining. Cost of the power, if you're off grid, boils down to the cost of the fuel you're going to burn to generate power. And natural gas in this region has a chronic disadvantage. It's just a chronic disadvantage to the rest of the market because of the infrastructure that's in place and the activity that's going on.
Okay, explain that a little more.
So gas has to be transported by pipeline. There's no other economic way to do it. So the activity in this area is dominated by oil production and oil drilling. Like I said earlier, that brings with it some gas. And in the case of this particular area, lots of gas. Because these are some of the most prolific oil wells in the basin or in the country. Not where I'm at. I'm on the fringe. A little further south of me, but we're going into the same pipeline systems. And
Okay,
the same
so they're
pipeline
all trying to
network.
get all that gas into one pipeline.
Well, it's multiple pipelines, but a pipeline network.
Sure.
But it all kind of channels through a point called Waha. So Waha gets really, really bad pricing. And everyone who's feeding into Waha gets really, really bad pricing because there's just too much gas.
Sure.
And you don't have the traditional economic signal of low price, curtail supply.
Yeah.
Because the supply is associated with the oil production.
Yeah.
So the oil guys don't care about the gas price.
Right, because otherwise they're just flaring it or venting it.
Or selling it for 50 cents. It's kind of, they kind of don't care
they
about
don't
the
have a lot
price.
of great options. They're just there for the oil.
Right. But that just drives the price down for anyone who's trying to sell gas into that market. But it's good for someone who's trying to buy gas in that market.
Yes.
So it's a chronically discounted price for your fuel source for mining as a Bitcoin miner. As a gas producer, and I'm still a net long gas producer.
Okay.
It's bad
Yes.
because I'm having to deal with low prices.
Yeah, with Bitcoin mining, the one with the lowest cost of power wins.
Right.
And you can't really beat some of that off-grid stuff when there's no other place for that gas to go.
Hey, it's Amy. Click over here to subscribe, click over here for more content, and we'll see you next time.